Imagine if Marcus Garvey was the youth's them example, what the future would be promising. Imagine if Haile was the teacher and the scriptures were speeches to prepare them for the journey to begin. A new perspective on history.
I'm Princess Pyhia representing for Reggae Britannia, and we're here with the beautiful JAH9. How are you doing, JAH9?
I'm good, give thanks.
A wonderful performance just now on the stage.
Yes,
everyone loving it. Amazing. So we know you're on your Europe tour at the moment. Tell us how that's going and where you've been.
Oh, I've been, well, it started in the US at the end of July, and then we moved over to, I've been to Italy. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a list now to tell you. But we did maybe 10 shows in Europe, across Europe, Germany, 3 in the UK.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So this is the 3rd one in the UK now. And then from here we moved to Kenya to launch the album on Friday.
Oh my goodness. How was Kenya? How was Africa? What was that like for you?
Well, last year when I was there, it was really, really awesome, really inspiring. I'm looking forward to going back now. So tomorrow we leave here and head to Kenya, and album launch on Friday. Really looking forward to sharing with the Kenyan ones. Like, the energy in Kenya is so beautiful.
Because they love reggae in Kenya.
They
Absolutely.
love reggae. That is true. That is true. And it's just, it's just a different energy when you're on the continent. I mean, it's not something I can describe, but it really is a high energy, just being there and seeing the vastness and feeling the connection, So I feel really, really blessed and privileged to be able to do this there. Yeah.
Would you say, being a Jamaican artist and obviously going to Africa and seeing the response of reggae out there, that Jamaican artists really have a responsibility to carry this banner and make sure that worldwide everyone knows this is true, this is authentic, this is real?
I think all African people need to go to Africa, I think it's not just reggae artists that need to do that. I think some engineers and some scientists need to go there too. Some teachers need to go there. Educators, many of the ones who have benefited from the Western education need to now go there and get their African education and share it and help to empower the ones over there. And yes, reggae music definitely is an important vehicle to spread that message.
Talking about the spirituality side of things, we know that you actually do yoga and you're certified to do yoga. Tell us about yoga and how that balances in your life as a musician.
Yeah, man. You see, as a Rastafari, as when you practice that type of levity where you watch the things you eat, you watch the way you speak, you watch how much time you spend, giving your energy out versus replenishing yourself, it is a natural thing for you to connect with a practice like yoga, So yoga, there are a lot of similar principles, and I think I connected with that. And then, in my own studies, I found that His Imperial Majesty also practiced these principles as well. So that definitely made it for me a very significant thing. And employing pranayama, that is using the breath to still the mind, crucial in this industry and in this world, and just as a woman. And so it's definitely something I not only practiced but went and learned and trained to teach, so that I could share this with especially communities where people don't have access to a fancy yoga studio, So yoga is really something that I serve with, bringing it to people who probably wouldn't have the opportunity to learn some of these very, very important skills.
When I went to Egypt, Kemet, when you go there, you see the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens. You see on the wall that they're actually doing the different poses.
You see, exactly.
So
you know that the roots of yoga are in Africa. Mm-hmm. Thousands of years before you see it before you hear of it in India, the writing is on the wall. It is there in Africa. And most recently I trained to teach Kemetic Yoga. So that has really, really made a difference as well in how I absorb that information and how I share my practice. When you learn the different styles of yoga, you realize, okay, so there's no right or wrong way to do it in terms of which school you have to follow, but there is so much to be had when you do it correctly, in the proper alignment, employing the breath, using the breath to build the fire, to cool the fire, and to help you to achieve concentration, which will help you to achieve meditation, which brings you closer to the Most High within yourself, And it's easier to understand when you are in the practice rather than just somebody talking about it. So I definitely encourage the brothers and sisters to, at minimum, breathe deeply. Yeah.
Because we're sometimes in a rush. We forget to breathe and actually just take our time.
We're so full of tension. There's so many things in this world that are intentionally set to make us agitated. right? So that we will be disconnected from the breath. So many people don't even realize that they're not breathing properly. They have a shallow breath that they breathe into their chest. And I mean, this is what is destroying the body as well. Because I mean, if we were just breathing more deeply, like if we were conscious of every breath and really took a deep diaphragm breath every time, then we would be doing so much more for our body. We would be doing so much more for our lives and the length and quality of our lives.
I remember seeing you performing in Jamaica, the midnight show that was in Kingston.
Yeah.
And the first thing you did before you started, you said, "Let's all breathe." And I remember that. People who are working and they say, "Look, I don't have time to go and do yoga." What would be your first step advice to them?
Well, if it is the brothers and sisters at work, and you're talking about people who probably sitting down at a desk all day.
Yeah.
So I would encourage them to be mindful of their posture. To try and make sure that throughout the day you take a little interval where you stand up and you just stretch, you know, and you just try and keep your tail tucked under. Don't stick your butt out as much as you may be well endowed. Just try and keep your spine straight, keep your shoulders back, and try and really be conscious of breathing into your abdomen, you know. And yeah, just employ those things and just really just try to stretch. Like, as much as they might take a little time and go to the gym, all that is doing is making the muscles more tight. But if you don't balance it with the stretch, you know, just like how the feminine have to balance with the masculine, like, you have to take time to feed your body. And you feed your body not just with food, but with prana, with life force energy, with air, with oxygen, you know.
And on the topic of food, in relation to breakfast, which is very important, a lot of the time, for me, I rush around, I don't have time to eat breakfast. So just talking about that, what would be your advice for people who are like, I don't have time to eat, I just grab what I can? What would be a step for them to take in a positive, right direction?
Listen, you are responsible for your body, you know. It's the one body that you have, you know. And if you can't make the time to feed and nourish yourself when you know that you are going to be spending so much energy, then it's not food we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about how you value yourself, you know, because you probably have a lot of other issues that you are not dealing with. If that, you know, that is probably a symptom of a greater problem. But even if it's a fruit, you know what I mean, you're going to find that later on in your life, you're going to feel it. Stomach ulcers, these are nasty, nasty things. Diabetes, because sometimes people don't grab, so them grab some sweet food or them grab whatever. Like, I don't have to preach to you about how to eat. You can go and Google and find out, you know, go and look about electric foods. Go and find out about the things you should eat. But I just say prioritize, because you don't want to have to be sick before you have to now get into wellness and healthy eating. You know what I mean? Prevention is definitely not just better, but definitely less expensive.
Perfect. Now, being a female in the reggae industry and standing for what you stand for, what would be your advice to up-and-coming females who look at you and say, you know, I love JAH9, she inspires me in every way, I want to be like her or similar? What would be your advice to them?
I would have to meet them individually and know what they're going on with and hear their music and say, boy, sister, you know, you need to not quit your day job. Or, sister, you really need to make sure you're working with the right people so that they're not taking advantage of your talent and milking you and making money off of you, right? But most importantly, make sure that you don't have to hustle this music. Make sure that you have something else, some other source of income. Make sure you can feed yourself and your youths them so that you're not in a position where you have to compromise all of your standards in order to get ahead in the business. So don't put yourself in a position where you have to hustle and compromise.
And just one other thing, JAH9. In the UK, we have a lot of gang culture, a lot of youth dying every day. There's this whole, you know, pressure put on them a lot of the time. And sometimes they don't get to hear from artists. They listen to your music, they love it. They get the message, but then afterwards they still go and link a friend that might be telling them and influencing them to go on with the wrong thing, which could lead to them going to jail, committing crime, or ending up dead. So what would be your advice to the youth, especially in the UK, of African origin, on how to behave and what to do, because they need that guidance?
You have some artists here in the UK too, you know, spitting real and true knowledge, you know. So they don't even need to hear it from I, you know. You know what I mean? But you know what I would tell them? Read. You see, all that time is idle hands. You know what I mean? I've never been bored, so I can't really relate to the idea of, oh, I'm bored. But if you feel you have time and you don't have anything to do, grab a book. I put it to you that even if you go online, you can download a PDF book if you don't have access to a library even, you know what I mean? But read, find the great authors, you know what I mean? I just said it a while ago, like some Gerald Massey. Read from, you know, Walter Rodney. Read His Majesty's autobiographies and his speeches. Read Marcus Garvey, like Franz Fanon. Read. Don't make them have you as one of them black people who don't read. And when you do that, then that will empower you, that will give you some confidence, so you understand that, yeah man, your history is way beyond slavery. You have descended from great, masterful civilizations. And so you don't have to look at, you know, European people and feel like you are less than them. You know what I mean? If anything, we are the first Europeans. Go and learn about the Moors. You know what I mean? Go and learn, go and study. That way you will have things. So somebody call you for some slackness and some arms or say, oh, I'm busy, may I read. You see me?
Wonderful, wonderful. And there's a lot of young girls out there that look at the negative side of life and see, you know what, I need to show myself in this way. Maybe they look at their mother.
Here in England and times are cold.
Yes. You'd be surprised.
Serious.
I mean, you stand at one of them females that are so positive and you have such a positive vibration inside. So just out to the young females out there in terms of stepping forward and knowing they're a woman and knowing they're a black queen or even a princess developing into a queen, what would be your last advice to them in the UK?
I have so much love for my sisters, you know what I mean? I give thanks for my blessings. I give thanks that I grew up in a home with a mother and father, you know, and a father who looked at me as a dark-skinned girl and told me that that made me especially beautiful. Messages like that, boy, I just give thanks for all of the brethren them that showing love to their daughters, so them don't have to go out there and seek it from other people outside, you know. But for those daughters who, boy, there's so many things we could say. The only thing I would have just remind my sisters is, you are so beautiful and so powerful, so much more powerful than you know, and you will not realize your power until you stop compromising and you realize that, look, the world will bend to your will if you stand in your power. You know, we could go on and on about this because it's a real sensitive topic for I, but for the daughter them, like, I don't know, and especially the beautiful, round, voluptuous ones who have so much to offer the world and are so distracted by their own bodies. Yeah man, boy, sisters, go read too. Seriously, go read.
Nine, I wish we had so much time to talk to you, and I know like everyone wants to speak with you, but just to fit in your new album, 9, tell us about that, because obviously you got the launch coming up in Kenya, so just give the UK warriors a little bit more about that.
Alright, so this album, very personal, self-titled, it named 9 tracks. 4 of them co-produced with some real Irish producers, my brothers. 5 of them produced by me, released by me, Woman Production, straight out, Team Chalice Records. Very proud, very looking forward to sharing this positive messages. Some of them very dark, some of them are a little disturbing, but all of them necessary, you know. We're touching on the feminine, which is the emotional side, which is the darker side that we sometimes shy away from, but it is important in this time, you know. So yeah man, I'm just looking forward to hearing all the ones them relate to it. It's roots music, very beautiful music, technically sound. We have a really good team of engineers and support system. So I am definitely looking forward to how the world will receive this body of work.
Wow, Nine, it's been amazing talking to you. I feel so loved, positive vibrations. I'm loving it. You know, when do you think you're coming back to the UK?
I don't know, you know. Hopefully not in the winter, but you know, yes, very soon.
Well, thank you so much for talking to Reggae Britannia. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, we're going to stay tuned. Keep with the positive vibration. You're strong. No matter what anyone says to you, keep, never give up, because it's needed what you're doing out there. So thank you so much. Thank you. If you love watching interviews such as this, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can visit us at reggaebrit.com. That's www.reggaebrit.com, or Instagram at reggaebrit. Stay blessed.
For unity, yes, each one must teach one. The neighbor's liquid youth is your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother, a part of who you must become in the event of revolution.